Hello everyone, welcome to this weekly update video for Monday the 28th of August, and today we're going to focus on VATRadar, a new iOS app released in open beta by a member of our community, Rob. So congrats to you, Rob, for releasing the app even in open beta. I've known about it for quite a while and been pretty excited to let you guys know about it, because I know that it's going to prove useful. But obviously, Rob's been working away on it, and it's now at the stage where it could be released to the community. By no means finished. Still, I know Rob is looking for feedback and, of course, any issues that arise. But it's in a state where it can definitely be used for your everyday flights, for looking up events, and for looking up control. So let me tell you a little bit about what you can expect to find in VATRadar. So you can find it by going to www.vatradar.io, and on there you can join the open beta on test flight. And you can expect to find, just as some examples, the controllers tab, and in there you can find a list of all airports that currently have control, rather than purely just a list of every controller online, which wouldn't be very helpful. So if you click on an airport, you can go in there and you can see the controllers online, so towers, even a center that might cover that airport. And you can also see the ATC, if there is one, online. So very useful. I know that's one thing that a lot of people often have issues with, is finding out whether there's control on at a certain airport because of VATSIM's top-down control policy. So you can use this to help you out, and you can use it to check the ATC. And so if you're wondering whether to fly on VATSIM, you can double check before you do. That tab also has a centers section. You can switch between the airport's view and the centers view for the two buttons at the top of the controllers tab, and that will just show you center control. So you can also double check that for en route. You can track your flight, so provided you've put your SID or CID in the settings from VATSIM, you can track your flight, your details. So very useful if you have to step away from the PC for 5-10 minutes. Maybe you're on Unicom, or maybe you've been given clearance to step away. You can keep track of your flight. And there's the pilot search tab. So it has a search function. You can easily search if you want to know, is my buddy on VATSIM, or let me go and look at their flight plan. You can find any pilot on there. You can search by call sign. You can search by name. You can search by CID. And then you will be able to click on it and view their flight plan, what they've filed, what they're currently doing. So yeah, very useful. And finally, the events tab is very useful for looking at flights you might want to do in the future. The VATSIM events site isn't great, but this is a really easy way to go in, look at events, click on them, and view the full description. So a great all-in-one app, obviously made with accessibility in mind, and there's a lot more to come. So keep feature requests coming and stuff, but there is stuff that already is planned, especially around notifications. For example, there are plans to have notifications when you enter controlled airspace. That was one of the kind of basic things that was established that it would be good to have. There are plans for potentially notifications based on traffic levels. There are, all sorts of things that we can do, that Rob's going to be able to do, once the system is in place, that will allow for notifications. And then once that's in place, I think notifications as a whole concept will really expand. But other than that, I'm sure there's still more that can be added, and there will be. So probably going to be an open beta for quite a while, but you're free to download it through test flight, so it's really great, and would highly recommend taking a look. Beyond ATC, there's a little bit of news on that. So they announced that they have now partnered with FSLTL, which, as you'll probably know, is something you can get through the fly-by-wire installer, and it injects traffic into your SIM. They have an injector, and it also comes with various models that you can use for model matching on VATSIM and things like that. They have now said that they're partnering with FSLTL and that they've brought a team member on board so that they can create their own custom injection system for Beyond ATC. So it'll inject and control its own traffic. And they're currently searching for a live service to provide traffic such as VATRadar 24. So you remember when we previously discussed Beyond ATC, what we said was that they were planning on simulating comms with traffic, but they wouldn't be able to directly control it. Well, now it looks like they're actually going to directly control it and inject it and control it themselves. They have caveated this by saying that they may no longer be able to reach their release target of 2023, and that it may well spill over into 24. So I think that does quite significantly extend the timeline for Beyond ATC, which is unfortunate, but you know, I guess at least we can be sure that we're not going to come into conflict with any AI traffic. And you would think if it is pulled off, you know, to a great extent, we will end up with a really good solution that will in fact simulate comms with real world traffic, pretty much where it is at that very moment, which will be really cool to have that. I mean, you kind of have that now to an extent within Microsoft. You know, it comes with the live traffic, but I know there are some issues with it, and of course the MS-ATC does not really use real world phraseology. The last thing I wanted to point out with regard to software this week was just that the FSFO beta is now beginning. So if you did sign up to get into the FSFO version 5 beta, you will have been notified if you got into it. Yeah, so, you know, I mean, there's nothing major new with that to discuss. I already put in a previous weekly update video what would be in First Officer version 5. You know, we talked about some of the accessibility features, the good and the bad, and we talked about the ability for First Officer version 5 to kind of actually simulate real world SOPs and split duties much more between crew members. So yeah, there's all that in there, but if you did sign up for the beta, you should get notified. I know of at least one member of our community who is in the beta, so yeah, don't worry too much about it. I think, you know, they're going to get some feedback from at least one person on accessibility, and hopefully it won't be too different to the current way that things are done. But you know, we obviously don't want to find out suddenly when version 5 is released that, oh great, it's totally inaccessible. So, and then the final thing just to remind everyone of is that there is this TFM anniversary flight being held on Saturday. That's this Saturday, the 2nd of September. It's going to be 1700 Zulu. It's from Houston Bush Kilo India Alpha Hotel to Toronto Charlie Yankee Yankee Zulu. It'll be mainly on VATSIM. You don't have to fly on VATSIM, so feel free to come along for that. And in terms of ATC networks, I figured I may as well throw a little note in there as well about Pilot Edge, and just to thank Pilot Edge for their help and cooperation over the past few weeks as us blind pilots have explored Pilot Edge even more. And just to say, keep an eye out, because we're hoping to get a podcast out very soon with Pilot Edge to discuss its uses and you know, the way that it's been able to work with blind pilots, given that obviously it's a real world training network and everything like that. So very, very cool that we're able to fly on that. All right, I will see you very soon. Thanks for watching. Hope it was useful.